Search continues. The family of a missing Warrnambool woman continues to seek information. 2 low-scale earthquakes, one in Apollo Bay and another in Nadimuck yesterday. Sheepvention after dark. Sharna rocks the stage at a fundraising concert for Let's Talk. And in sport, Merivale continues its winning streak, defeating Allansford in senior football and netball.
Live from Silver Ball Studios in Warrnambool, this is Southwest Local News with Sharna Rogers.
Good evening. An 81-year-old charged with murder has been remanded in custody after a brief hearing today in Warrnambool Magistrates Court. It's alleged the man murdered his wife, also 81, inside their home in Coleraine just after 1 a.m. on Saturday morning. After receiving a call from 000, emergency services arrived to the house before attempting to revive her. Sadly, the woman succumbed to her injuries and died at the scene. The man will return to court for a further hearing in December. The search for a missing Warrnambool woman resumed this morning. Anna was reported missing by a concerned passerby at the mouth of the Hopkins River on Saturday morning. The police air wing was called and provided support for SES and other emergency services personnel on the ground. Land and sea searches resumed yesterday and again this morning as Anna's family remain optimistic that they'll receive some answers. Anyone with information about Anna is asked to contact Warrnambool Police or Crime Stoppers on 1800 333 000. 2 earthquakes have been recorded in opposite ends of the region yesterday. The first was recorded at Apollo Bay just before midnight on Saturday with a reported magnitude of 2.5. The second occurred in Nadimuck, northwest of the Grampians, at a depth of 3.1 kilometres with a reported magnitude of 3.1. According to Geosciences Australia, there were no felt reports for either tremor. Police are investigating the vandalism of federal member for Warrnambool's Warrnambool electoral office. Red paint, along with the message "Supports Genocide," was splashed across the window. Warrnambool CRU detectives are reviewing CCTV from the office and nearby businesses. Anyone with information is asked to contact Crime Stoppers. Up to Hamilton, and Sheepvention After Dark Drought Relief Concert has raised over $10,000 for Let's Talk last night. Thousands of people passed through the gates of the annual event yesterday and today, but it was last night that proved to be the highlight. Around 600 people packed the entertainment precinct for the concert, which featured locals Beck Milley and Michael Honan, and of course, ARIA award-winning Australian artist Sharna. Noel also appeared on a mental health discussion before taking to the stage in front of an excited crowd.
Being here in Hamilton and the regions, it's good to have you back in the area.
Yeah, mate, it's a beautiful spot down here. But obviously, growing up on not a small farm with 4,500 acres, 4,000 red ewes back in the day. So it's really wonderful to be here, mate. Especially such a wonderful event too. I think we need to raise as much awareness as we can of mental health in the bush.
And you're part of the mental health discussion. Then how did you find that? Obviously, the room was pretty receptive, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was great, mate. I think people, just hearing that it's okay to talk about things and there's nothing to be afraid of things, and just trying to get that message out there. So.
And what about your touring, mate? You obviously were Warrnambool last night, Hamilton tonight. What's the rest of the thing look like?
Yeah, I'm all over the place, mate. Got a couple of them up in Queensland and down to New South Wales coast and then over to WA. So plenty of travelling, mate, racking up those freaking fly miles.
Long-serving West Vic Dairy Regional Manager Lindsay Ferguson has announced his retirement. It will bring a close to almost a decade of service for Lindsay, who began his role at West Vic Dairy in 2016. The announcement comes as the organisation approaches its AGM later this month. Also stepping down is long-standing board member and former treasurer Rhonda Henry, who started in her role in 2017. Over to Colac, and a Colac man accused of murder has appeared in Melbourne Supreme Court this week. The 26-year-old had pleaded not guilty of murdering a 20-year-old Corio man in Mallop Street in Geelong. It's alleged the man stabbed the victim after an altercation before he passed away in hospital shortly after. Back to Warrnambool, and the founder of Croydon-based volunteer wildlife rescue organisation has lost hope that the Warrnambool City Council will acknowledge that koalas living within the CBD are in danger of being lost altogether. Mosswood Wildlife has seen a huge spike in injured koalas being treated by its volunteer vet, with most sadly needing to be euthanised. According to founder Tracy Wilson, koalas aren't even mentioned in council's documents as a species known to have habitat inside city limits. Tracy says it's not a question about whether the council is planting new trees or not, it's a question about the species of trees they are planting and if they are suitable for koalas or not.
I think it's also what species of trees that get planted. We're certainly losing a lot of the koalas that we had in Warrnambool. We're not unique. There's lots of places that development happens and therefore you don't have a choice. That's what happens. But sadly, we do still have opportunities of replacing or planting. I think a lot of people do get it. It's just the will of some not being there to do it. I don't know. I'm lucky. When I go home to visit my family, they come from an area where the trees are so heavily protected. They still have powerful owls nesting. You know, people choose to park under trees because it's hot and people like the shade.
The Warrnambool community continues to rally behind 2-year-old Harlan Herford and his mother Ebony. Harlan is 10 weeks into his chemotherapy treatment after being diagnosed with a rare form of cancer in May. A GoFundMe page created to help cover living expenses for Harlan and his mother Ebony has reached $46,000. While Harlan's family remains optimistic, it will be weeks before they can access if the treatment is working. It's hoped that the GoFundMe page will reach $55,000, and you can find the link on our Facebook page if you wish to donate.
Just obviously a lot harder to remain as positive as what we were. We didn't even think it would spread. Like, you don't think about that. You just think about what he's got and what he's going through. So when we got the news that it had spread, we were all devastated, and all the family were actually in Warrnambool. So Ebony was in Geelong alone to find that out. But his prognosis is the same. It's 50% cure rate because the bone cancer does have a similar rate to the neuroblastoma. It's just obviously a lot more scary because it is now elsewhere and it did spread rapidly.
Portland's Coast Guard was called out to assist 2 fishing boats in distress on Saturday night. It made for a long night for the crew of 4, with the operations taking more than 8 hours. One of the boats was 13 miles south of Cape Nelson with no lights, but the crew was found safe after an extended search effort. With the ongoing drought crisis gripping the wider southwest region, a student at Hawkesdale P12 has taken matters into his own hands, contacting federal member for Warrnambool with his concerns. The local MP presented the letter to Parliament last week, detailing the Year 9 students' concerns about mental health of farmers, listing hard-hitting statistics on suicide. The letter called on Dan to advocate more strongly for emergency funding for fodder and water transport, direct financial support and on-the-ground mental health support. It comes ahead of a visit from Nationals Party leader David Littleproud and Senator Bridget McKenzie tomorrow in the Corangamite Shire. Finally, locals are being encouraged to bust out the roller skates and head along to the Warrnambool Showgrounds later this month for the Wear It Purple roller disco. If you don't own roller skates, then that is no problem. There will be some available to borrow on the night. It's a family event available to anyone over the age of 5 years old and aims to give people an excuse to enjoy some upbeat disco and house tunes. The Wear It Purple Roller Disco is a collaboration between Warrnambool Amplify and the Warrnambool Roller Derby League, and registrations via SkateVic is essential. That's all for general news, and we'll take a break, and when we return, I'll have the latest in sport news. Back soon.
At Nutrient Solutions, we're here to help you go further. Further in innovation and technology. Further in advice and solutions. go further for the community, in sustainability, and for the future of our industry. With Nutrient Ag Solutions, there's no limit to how far your business can go.
VG Cabinets is your specialist cabinetry team, servicing Warrnambool and surrounding areas. With over 20 years' experience, the team here can get your cabinetry needs sorted. Housing a CNC router to make sure all the cuts in the workshop are accurate for a perfect install on site. VG Cabinets cover all areas, including kitchens, vanities, laundries, flat packs, stone bench tops, and new homes and renovations. We offer free quotes on any job, so don't hesitate to call Lee on 0408 580 991.
Forgetting something? Some things are easy to forget, but remembering to book your tax return shouldn't be one of them. SHB Business and Wealth Advisors offer on-the-day appointments, so you can book and see one of our experienced team members straight away. Too busy to visit our office? Then let us come to you, with out-of-office hours appointments available on request. So don't be forgetful. Book your tax return with SHB Business and Wealth Advisors.
If it's time to add a little magic to your flooring and windows, our online catalogue is full of great ideas at great prices. There's magic in a Solomon's floor.
Yes, Grace, and there's magic in a Solomon's store.
Tonight's sport is proudly brought to you by Nutrient Ag Solutions, Warrnambool and Timboon. Getting the most out of your farm. Contact the team today.
Time to take a look at some local sport news now, and Colac netball star Zara Walters was part of the Melbourne Vixens premiership after a gripping 1-goal victory over West Coast Fever on Saturday. Walter contributed 13 goal assists and received 17 centre passes. The former Tiger held her own against the favourite, only conceding 1 turnover and 2 penalties. The victory comes after the Vixens fell short in last year's grand final. Merivale has denied Allendsford the top spot on the Warrnambool and District Football Netball League ladder, defeating the Cats by 30 points on Saturday. Allendsford star forward Robbie Hare was on track to notch up his 100th goal this season, booting 3 majors in the first half before the Tigers made a move that would quieten him down for the second half. Over at the netball court, the Cats fought hard to claw their way back from a 6-goal deficit at the last change to go down to the Tigers by 2 goals. Peyton Noonan led the goals by 38 for the day, with coach Alicia Carter praising her side resolve to come away with a win.
Yeah. Or you just cannot disrespect the defenders in their team. Not just Jess, Emma's amazing. Even little Ali coming in, they're just
absolutely.
They're very primed. Yes, no, you just got to. No. Yeah, it's like smarts. We're smarts against smarts today. So,
absolutely,
yeah.
And there were some really good matchups. Lily and Bernadette, they just gave it each other.
Yeah.
And even Mia and Grace.
Yeah.
So there was some really nice
dog at a
matchups
bone
there.
Actually all over the court. It was
absolutely.
Good. Yeah.
And what's your finals prep looking like?
Well, we're going to see these guys again.
Yep.
Yeah. So it was kind of said that to the guys, kind of was a bit of a nothing game. If we lost, we would have stayed second and third. So it was kind of just, I don't know, maybe an ego competition today on who was going to lift the confidence a little bit coming into finals.
Absolutely. So. And having Luca Cassidy back after 6 weeks in Europe.
I just said to Luca, she come on, I was a little bit concerned. I was like, get off the ground, woman. Just stand there and her legs are stuck. But no, she come good after half time. So it was, she was very excited to be back, and we were excited to have her back. So.
In other football results, Russells Creek prevailed over Dennington. Coolangatta was too good for Panmure. Old Collegians defeated South Rovers, and Naranda had a strong win over Timboon Demons. Merivale looks like it will take out the minor premiership on top of the ladder. Allendsford looks likely to finish second, with Naranda and Old Collegians round out the top 5 after this week. To the netball ladder, Naranda continues to dominate after 33-goal win over Timboon, sitting in top spot, while Merivale's victory over Allendsford has given them a handy buffer in second. From third down, the competition still remains tight, with Timboon in fourth on equal points with Old Collegians and Coolangatta. Finally, in women's footy, the Hamilton Kangaroos have denied South Warrnambool a Premiers and Champions title, defeating the Roosters by 17 points. The victory has earned the Kangaroos their 3rd Western Victoria Female Footy League flag in 5 years. Kangaroo skipper Emily Pitts and teammate Elise Thurman were awarded Best on Ground honours. Other premierships went to the Timboon Demons in the under-18s, and the North Warrnambool Eagles took out the under-15s decider. It was a mostly sunny day around the region today with some light showers around some areas, and I'll have the rest of the forecast for you soon.
Aqualife Pet and Aquarium is the most unique pet store in the southwest. Where else can you purchase beautiful hand-reared birds like cake parrots or red-tailed black cockatoos? If birds aren't your thing, then maybe it's the bearded dragons, the pet snakes or the stingrays that interest you. The team at Aqualife Pet and Aquarium have the knowledge to keep your pets happy and healthy for life. From rabbits to exotic tropical fish, reptiles and birds, there's no place like Aqualife Pet and Aquarium.
At the Tyre Factory Warrnambool, we stock the best range of alloy wheels to suit your ride. Steel wheels, wheel and tyre packages for caravans and trailers, and four-wheel drive wheel packages. The Tyre Factory, 180 Raglan Parade, Warrnambool.
DCM Automotive is your local automotive specialist. Based in central Warrnambool, DCM provide a full range of automotive services, from general servicing through to computer diagnostics and fault finding. DCM do it all. Call Daryl today.
Bell's Garden Centre has the largest range of sand and soil products in the southwest. People choose Bell's because you can't buy experience, and Bell's has plenty. With bulk product delivery available across the southwest, for your next project, it's got to be Bell's.
B&B Furniture Plus now stock a range of adjustable beds. They have mobility aids to help you live your life to the fullest, and lift chairs for the best in comfort. B&B Furniture Plus is locally owned at 203 Lava Street, Warrnambool.
Coastline Cut and Core is your only concrete cutting and coring specialist in the southwest. Demolition works, renovation modifications and repairs and maintenance of damaged concrete. Coastline Cut and Core does it all. Contact myself, Harley Higgins, today.
Tonight's weather report is proudly brought to you by Anchor Point Retirement Village. New homes are being built now. Book a tour today.
Let's take a look at the 3-day forecast for the region. Over in Port Fairy tomorrow, a partly cloudy day, medium chance of showers, most likely in the late morning with 30km winds. Wednesday, 6mm is predicted, 30km winds with a top of 13 degrees. And cloudy on Thursday with frost in the northeast, light winds and a top of 13 degrees. Inland to Mortlake, 1mm of rain is forecast for tomorrow with winds shifting northwesterly before dawn, a top of 15. Topping at 13 degrees on Wednesday, possible small hail in the southeast. Thursday, also a top of 13 degrees with patches of morning frost in the northeast. Heading to Camperdown, showers tomorrow with a partly cloudy day and 14 degrees. Wednesday, a top of 12 degrees with 5mm throughout the day and light winds. On Thursday, a cloudy day with a slight chance of a shower and 12 degrees. On the coast in Port Campbell, a partly cloudy day with 30km winds tomorrow. Wednesday, a top of 13 degrees with 8mm and southwesterly winds. Thursday, a cloudy day with a slight chance of a shower and 1mm, topping at 13 degrees. Back to Warrnambool, a top of 15 degrees, 2mm and a partly cloudy day with 30km winds. Wednesday, 6mm and a possible small hail with northwesterly winds and a top of 13 degrees. On Thursday, only a top of 14 with a slight chance of a shower. That's all making news for the first edition of Southwest Local News of the Week and the first ever edition of 3-Way FM as part of our new partnership. It's exciting for us to not only be on your devices and TVs, but now on the airwaves as well. And a huge thank you goes out to 3-Way FM for having us. I'm Sharna Rogers with peace, good night.